My tracking died for a second. It's back now. I hope it'll be fine. Oh no. Oh, I think I didn't add an S to the command. It's just calper. Let me know which one you prefer. I should add the S though. Here, you can send it again. It should work. My dumbass forgot to add an S to the command. It should be a lot louder, but I feel like the game might drown it out. I don't know. Okay. I think we were actually in the last part of this case. We were like really close to finishing. This is basically the last part we need to get through before getting to the end. So I have no idea what was— oh, right. They were testifying about— what was it? What they saw? And so our current theory right now is that they lied about what they saw because they wanted to celebrate their anniversary. Because, what was it? It's in the rule book here somewhere for the— yeah, for the London Bobbies. No, where was it? Yeah, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. And so our working theory right now is the victim was found here, but our theory is that the victim actually was attacked here and then moved over here. Because this section is God, what was his name? Roly? I think Roly. That's the officer that's testifying right now. Like, this section here is his beat. And then this section would be some other officer's beat. So it's basically separated by this road. And so our working theory is that he and his wife moved the body over to the other side of the road so that he wouldn't have to help with the investigations and like they could go have their anniversary dinner. Well, that's where we're at right now. If what I think actually happened for how the lady was attacked is gonna be crazy. I also always forget that I have to scroll to go back. I'm pretty sure that's a bug. And they just never fixed it. Like, if you click on this back arrow, it doesn't work. Anyways, did I ask her all this other stuff? I don't think so. I think I, like, saved before. Let me double check. Am I gaslighting myself? Let's see. I'm pretty sure I saved right before the start of their testimony, so I'm just gonna press them from the beginning. Okay. Case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. Believe me, Lennon Bobby's good for his word. How can you say that for certain?
A very good question, sir. And the answer is this. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. He showed us that before, didn't he?
Did he? Can't say I remember. Okay, maybe I did press him on all the other ones, but then, I don't know. It wouldn't have made sense to me.
To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. It's what the job's all about. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you a Bobby's good for his word. While rubbing my tired eyes admittedly. Sir.
Oh, Roly, you're so manly.
I can't. They're so cringe, but like I love them for being so cringe, you know? They're like that couple. was I doing? There was a thing I was thinking about and then I forgot about it. And I'm trying to remember what I was thinking about like 10 seconds ago, but it's gone. I think it's vanished from my brain, dear lord. No. Nope, it's gone. I don't remember what I was thinking about.
Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat.
Oh, Roly.
I can't. It's like the amount of times this has happened. See, this is me. No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett?
Ah, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir.
Yes, well, so, did you answer the question? That was a waste of time then.
Absolutely, sir. I will answer it to the fullest of my abilities, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's domestic dispute can't be related to this case.
Windows on the top floor or top hinge casements. Okay, well maybe I should just go off of where I was. Because obviously when I loaded the save file was here. So I'm gonna try going from here. I could have sworn I saved at like a part that like stopped. You know, like a part that made sense to stop and save. You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime?
Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset. When we bent over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back, I was so shocked. I dropped the bouquet Roly gave me. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice at first.
And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on.
Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
Oh, wait. Do you think she's aware that the body was moved? Because there is the possibility that like, I don't know if she's in on it. We'll have to see.
In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beat, the victim is not deceased.
I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably.
That's right. Silly me, I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although, I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there. I really can't.
So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite.
Curious indeed. Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Roly bought me. With that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting.
By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry solitary rose?
Oh, yes, that's it. And that's the bouquet Roly bought me for our anniversary, with old bits of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call it a rose.
Tell us, Lord Van Zieks, where did you come by the flower?
According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garrett household.
In front of the Garrett's house?
Although it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir, thank you. Could I have it back now, please? No, I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence. Oh.
Okay, yeah. Present for Patricia Beat from her husband Roly. The shock of seeing the stabbed victim caused Mrs. Beat to drop the rose where she stood.
But it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back. Good grief, rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Pete.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to make her angry. Do you need help, Roly? Are you trapped? Blink in Morse code if you need help. Although he seems to love her, so it's okay. Didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment. Nothing strange to report. Nothing to report.
That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time, never looked away for a second.
I don't know, man. You're having trouble keeping them wide open right now.
No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the yard's honor, sir.
Really? That seems a little strange.
Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me.
This burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was originally in the Garrett household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hands of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the crime? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time.
Ah, could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burnt as well.
Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene.
Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them.
Well, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you make of all this?
Yes. The whole idea of an invisible attacker has been troubling me all along. But I believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here now. A fourth book that had no business being at the scene of the crime made me sure that Mrs. Garrett was hiding something from us. But it's becoming increasingly clear that someone else has been hiding something from us as well. I think I may already be armed with everything I need to strike a decisive blow here. This time, it's going to expose the whole truth about this mysterious affair. Okay, nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrett. I'm not... Okay, I have to figure out which statement to contradict. So, I'm pretty sure I know what happened. I'm pretty sure he moved the body, but how do I prove he moved the body? Fourth book. Oh, can I look at the rose? I don't know. Am I gonna get anything out of this? Let's see.
An English rose. It's such a beautiful flower.
Ah, this is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before.
Do you not take an interest in flowers, Mr. Naruhodo?
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least.
Gosh. 3?
Yes. Plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom.
Perhaps you should consider branching out, learning some that aren't fruit tree based, for example.
So funny. Oh, is there a note tied around here, you think? It's very stylish paper the flower's wrapped in, isn't it?
It's just an old newspaper, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh. I suppose it's because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me.
Huh. I see.
Is something wrong?
Oh, no, I was just thinking that if you wrapped a stone-baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake.
Ah, Susato-san, you do love your cakes. Okay, I don't think there's anything special about this flower. Like, is this gonna give me the same dialogue? Okay, yeah. Okay, I don't think there's anything else I can get out of this. It is very pretty though. Okay, we're gonna go back. Okay, what do I want to contradict? Windows. Okay, yeah, that one I'm not gonna be able to contradict. If anything had been thrown out of the window, we would have seen it. But it was foggy. Do I not? I don't think I have anything to prove that it was foggy, was it? No. Okay. I did leave the scene to go and fetch help. Trusty Roly was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. I don't think I have anything for that. I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while. Didn't take my eye off the scene. I don't know if this is one of those things where I have to press on something again. I think I might have to press this again. They do that sometimes. I mean, you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime.
Yes, that's right. I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back, I was so shocked. I dropped the bouquet Roly gave me. It was like papa. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice at first.
Okay, this is the same dialogue, so maybe it's not. It's nowhere near the victim's body at all. Wrong side of the street. Can't think of how the bouquet got there. So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite. Okay, this is just the same dialogue. Didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment. Nothing strange to report. Maybe it's this one. The shock of seeing the stabbed victim caused Mrs. Beat to drop the rose where she stood. Okay, we're gonna try presenting the rose here. Because if nothing was strange, then supposedly the bouquet somehow moved.
Objection!
You claim, Constable Bede, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes regarding the scene. But that cannot be.
What do you mean to say?
In your testimony just now, Mrs. Bede, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection!
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street back into the gutter where it belongs.
Meager?
Objection!
Oh, she looks so sad. But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact?
No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on Scotland Yard's honor.
But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Roly didn't mention it, I'm sure.
No, because sadly it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around.
What are you talking about?
Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garridub's book. Mr. Garridub's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here, on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road, in the victim's hands. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime, on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garridub's house. Oh, thank you for the cheese assault. There's no logical explanation for those things. Unless somebody deliberately moved them.
What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Roly's done something wrong.
Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says. Bittering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking. That's what it is. Oh, good. Mrs. Garridub's come around. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garridub. But deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called... tampering, Mr. Naruhodo. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it. For a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection.
Tampering. You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception.
Yes, there's someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person.
Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime?
Well, there's only one person who was there. It had to be Roly.
Take that!
He sounded so aggressive there. Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Roly Beat, it was you.
What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard? What nonsense! Why would my Roly do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband. No Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London.
Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you're absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
Objection!
If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it.
Oh.
And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene.
Well.
Objection.
First, you make accusations from about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing.
What is it, evidence, proof?
You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime: to hide something.
That's right. He's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. And until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats.
Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery?
Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer.
If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering. Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide where the victim fell. Yeah. Where the victim fell to the ground. This is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What?
Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Briar Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know.
That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all.
What? What?
I'm beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial would end, Counsel. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening? Right here, I think.
Take that!
But that's... on the opposite side of the road.
I don't understand.
On the evening in question, Mr. Garrett's book fell directly down from the open window above. And your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious! I do love that his catchphrase is good gracious. I love saying it. Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
That's right. I saw it with my own eyes.
It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid. That was actually on the west side of Briar Road.
No, that's not true. It can't have been.
Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print, the victim herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary. The constable overlooked one thing.
What did he overlook?
The bouquet, I presume. Exactly.
The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light.
Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Constable Roly Beat.
Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important?
Oh, Roly. It isn't true, is it? What that lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know.
I had a dream. A terrible dream. Oh, the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed. It wasn't a dream at all.
Good golly. Good golly and good gracious. Yes, I'm adding that to my dictionary. Order! Order! What on earth is the meaning of all of this?
Oh, Roly, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it?
Wishing the victim dead should be one too. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London town.
I can't say, sir.
What?
I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation, for everything.
I have a possible explanation for why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason.
What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman.
And yet, Lord Van Ziegs, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. England, Japan. It makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. Well, I'm pretty close to the end of this trial. So I'm pretty sure it's this warrant card because it has that rule. If it's not the warrant card, then I have to show... Ooh, actually, it might be the bouquet. Because they're both reasons, but I don't know if... We're gonna go with the warrant card. Because it has the rule in it.
Take that!
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I've only just arrived from Japan. Which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beat in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. Special? How? On account of this bouquet, my lord.
Oh, yes. It was our very first wedding anniversary.
Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal.
When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road.
When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them, what must have gone through the man's mind?
But, sir, just on that one particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot, being married to a bubby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care.
This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day?
Yes. Everything you said. It's all right. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat.
Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Oh my god, Constable Beat's beat.
Good gracious! Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you've done?
Man, he's probably gonna be fired,
It was the first time since I became a copper that I'd ever cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer.
I mean, I guess this could still be him talking. I'm gonna assume.
We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight, of all nights? Why?
Man, that always sucks when you plan something for so long and then like shit just happens and like ruins it and like you can't do it. And that must have happened to a lot of people during COVID. Like lots of plans that had to be canceled.
It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Pat she'd have to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then, when I opened my mouth to speak, it just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Mearsham Street, and then...
Oh, yo, damn, Susato's me. Oh. We know all too well. Yeah. Yeah, that really sucked, huh? I booked a flight and it got canceled because of COVID. Oh no, are you okay, boo-boo? I'm distressed. This man is like 3D pixels. I can't hand him a tissue.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, Constable. I just wanted just that one night to take my Patricia out for dinner.
Oh, Roly.
Just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. You see, I thought... Well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Roly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
Ah, I see your meaning now.
But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I miss the rose I bought for Pat.
Oh no, Roly, that was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Roly.
And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total?
Oh, 4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely. 4. 3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsme, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garrett household, of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean.
Oh, well, sir. That's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand.
You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding?
Oh yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir.
Interesting. Okay, 4th book's information's been updated.
I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only the 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However, which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who'd done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. My lord.
Yes, Lord Van Zieks.
I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir.
Mr. Prosecutor, sir. What will become of my Roly? What will happen to him?
Could you imagine? She leaves him because he loses the uniform? That would be incredibly sad and funny.
But now you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
All right then, my love.
Has it been a month since the attack? No, it couldn't have been a month, right? I was just wondering if it was possible that he hasn't been sleeping well because of what he did by moving the crime scene, but I don't think so.
One last thing, Constable. Sir! Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime. Never again, sir. You mean to say? Leave. Now. The trial is not yet over.
Sir!
Yay, he didn't lose his job. His wife won't leave him.
Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of a crime like that?
Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Sosuke Natsume, is the only person who could have possibly committed this crime.
No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there's someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. I've been thinking about it. So, obviously it's Mrs. Garrett because she threw the knife, but like, I'm pretty sure that's what you constitute as manslaughter. Right? Because of her reckless actions, she accidentally ended up taking somebody's life. Oh wait, no. I keep forgetting. The lady's not dead, she's just in a coma. Okay, so it's not manslaughter. What is it then? Like, what's manslaughter but they don't die? I guess we'll find out. I don't know, I might Google it later, because like, you know what is that then? Like, what do they charge you with? Bodily harm? It's not really, I don't think it's assault. Why is this making my brain hurt so much trying to figure out where this falls under?
Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already.
Lord Van Zeeks, is this true?
Very well. Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted. The prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing.
It's one of the Garretives, but I don't know who I'm supposed to pick. Like, am I think I'm supposed to go with her, though, because she was the one throwing stuff. I will save, though, because I'm a bit of a coward. I think I have to present her, though. Because technically she was the one throwing stuff.
Take that!
The defense would once again like to request the cross-examination of a new witness, my lord.
Once again?
My assistant made the same request earlier, in order to finally reveal the truth about this case. It's imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garretib.
Me? Me? Oh, dearie me.
Objection!
That request has already been denied.
But the situation's very different now. Mrs. Garretib, answer me this.
What do you want now, you little toad?
At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garretib. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited. And to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Road.
Well, what of it?
You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open, top-hinged casement window, the book plummeted directly down. Gross negligence? Maybe, yeah, that could work, I think. Finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident.
Yes, and as I said, what of it?
During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garrett. Also, heads up, we have an ad break in 5 minutes. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before?
Oh. I don't recall it.
Seriously?
Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there and all that regalia said members of the jury needed to testify, didn't he?
Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
No, I have no recollection of saying that at all, juror number 4.
Oh.
Make no mistake, you jurors are blah 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 blah. You jurors,
Why can I not say that word?
are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madam, let the truth come out.
But that's just a common or garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how could you expect me to know?
What's that? Are you joking?
What are you saying? Please, Mrs. Garrett.
Now you listen to me.
I don't know who was saying that. Her? I don't know. It didn't give me a name.
I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd injured someone. You hear that? I couldn't bear it.
No, the poor woman.
So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now. Chop chop. Do your worst.
Well,
Mr. Naruhodo,
if I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already.
then take the stand, juror. The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman.
Thank you, Lord Van Zeeks.
I'm going to have to testify. Juror number 4, as I'm sure you will appreciate having observed it with your own eyes today. Witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which the witnesses themselves may not even have been aware. Dearie me. So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Garrett. And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels?
Certainly, my lord.
Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord. This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here, in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. God, I feel like such an anime protagonist right now.
Witness, state your name and occupation.
Yes, my name is Jane Garrett, and I'm a juror, and such like.
It sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid, or what anymore.
The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madam? Yes, my lord.
You will tell the court everything that took place in your household in the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth.
I'm hitting the snooze button. I forgot that escape does not pause this game, so I have to go back to history a little bit. Oh, dearie me.
Chin up, Joni. Nothing to worry about now.
Is that her husband? Yeah, there he is.
Oh, I didn't know you were here, John.
Was it only you in the room that day, old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you?
But, well, what about your knee, dear?
Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it.
She's got the shiny eyes for him. This is so weird. Because all their interactions I've seen has just been her pouring hot tea on him.
I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone.
Oh, John.
I presume you are Mr. John Garriton.
Yes, sir. Former second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir. Seen my fair share of action and now living the quiet life, as it were. The quiet life? Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question? Oh, well, yes. Quite.
I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question.
Sure. At once.
Alright, witness testimony. Alright, we're gonna pause here and run the ads. Those are gonna be 3 minutes, and then we will continue this after the ads are done. So I will see you in 3 minutes. Take this time to, I don't know, get up, stretch, get some water, snacks. And I'll see you. And for those of you that don't have ads, we will, I don't know, what does one talk about for 3 minutes? Oh, I suppose I could Google now if it's gross negligence. Let's see. I don't know. What does one Google? I feel so dumb Googling this sentence. Okay, no, well that sentence didn't do anything. Is it assault? The use, well, this is Canadian criminal code, but use of force either directly or indirectly against another person without their consent. I don't know. Oh, God, I think I remember, like, because back when I took law in high school, I remember there were different scenarios that were like that would like we would have to go over. I think this could fall under assault because I think one of the scenarios is like if say somebody throws a cup or whatever because they're angry or like they're just yeah, and like the cup breaks and like the shattered remains like hit somebody and like injures them, is it still assault? It was like some sort of scenario like that. I think this could think it could be assault. Hmm. Okay, so it could be negligence. Let's see, what is negligence versus assault? Why is law so difficult? I guess especially because I don't know what I should be Googling. Yeah, you know what? I think it probably is negligence. It most likely is. It most likely would be, I think, yeah. Google sucks. Yeah, Google is not good for this. As ChatGTP. I don't think I ever made an account, so I can't ask ChatGTP. Cause right, I think you have to make an account and everything, and I just never got around to it. I wish I didn't need to, but yeah. Maybe I'll do that in the future. Ask ChatGTP about all the Ace Attorney cases and what it thinks. Alright, time to close all these tabs. I had about like 5 of them open. And we will continue with this testimony. Do you see this? Do you see what they're calling this? The Battle of Garadav. Truly, they were at war. Oh, I can't wait for this testimony. I hope he actually describes it like he was in a battlefield, like he was in the trenches. His wife was attacking him from the other end. Oh, this is gonna be glorious.
Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out though and got the window open.
I can't seem to decide on a voice for him.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I'd noticed if 1 or 2 went missing, I'm afraid. If that bally thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think.
It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening.
Although an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield you're just a gnat's whisker from death at any moment.
Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here? I'm pretty sure it's negligence. I think you're right. It most likely is.
Well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife.
In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end.
Van Zeeks may well be right. Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, I'm afraid so.
Very well, counsel. Begin your cross-examination.
Okay, can't recall the reason now. Well, I know the reason. The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe.
Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was stuck into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garrett.
A rather passionate note, in fact. But Mrs. Garrett found the note, discovering her husband's little secret.
And she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it, too.
What a sordid state of affairs.
Hell on earth. I say, when a chap says he can't recall such things, it's common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide off the mark anyway.
Likely story.
These waters run very deep.
And what transpired next after these multiple blows to the face?
Oh, his face healed. Because we went to visit him, we could only see the left side of his face, right? Because he was always like looking that direction. And so we didn't see this side. And so when we finally saw this side, there was like a giant handprint on his face. If it was, say, the cup example you gave, it's negligence. If a crime was committed for personal gain that affected a third party, I think it's criminal negligence. Okay, knocked a candlestick and set fire to the carpet, had to open the window. And the fire also spread to some items or furniture, didn't it?
The bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine, really. Just so happens that there was some bathwater around that evening, so I splashed that about to put it out.
A most precarious situation you put yourself in.
As is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the way to Maine isn't connected yet.
Oh, they don't have a dummy. Oh, when they say water main, I guess they mean like the main water pipes. Never mind. Why did I think I read water as waiter or something, and I thought about a dumb waiter. I skipped something by accident. What was it?
Have to draw water from a public water pump during the day if you need any, you see.
Damn. So that would mean if there was a fire and there was no water around, you would be screwed.
The lodges are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although that little mustache Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe.
The defendant, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, he receives a stipend for his studies, you know, from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off.
No, my man is so poor. Have you actually seen the state of the man?
I believe he uses all of his income to buy books.
Well, anyway, the point is I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough.
Okay, meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him. Even though the room was on fire?
As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw.
God damn. Okay, she knows what she wants. I love this line though. It's I don't know, there's something about it that just has so much oomph to it. It was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. Like, goddamn, she was so angry.
That is most certainly not true of a Susato takedown, Mr. Naruhodo.
How did she know I was thinking that? Oh yeah, when a woman wants to throw, she must throw. So, please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items that you threw at your husband that day?
In all honesty, I don't recall. But I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic, a towel, and a sponge, a napkin.
Oh. Oh? Oh?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. I'm never gonna get over that voice line. I feel like I don't know how tired I would get of it, but I think that would be a funny sound alert to make. It's a Miss Marble. Oh, hello, Roderick. How you doing? Welcome. How are you doing today? We are finishing up this case. I believe we're like at the pretty much like the last stretch of this trial, and then that'll be the end of this case. And then I think there's one more for this first part of the game, so yeah. Do you have something to add, sir? Got home from work and saw you were alive, so I said bet. Thank you. Mr. Garrett. Whoa, whoa. Did you see the way he spazzed out? Oh my goodness. Is he okay?
Don't shoot! Sorry, I beg your pardon.
Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind? Mans was unprepared? Yeah, I don't know. Mans was sent back to the war. Like he has some sort of flashback.
Nothing of any significance, no. And just that the barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker, I seem to recall.
What is with these men marrying, like, kind of violent women? Ouch.
Ah! Good grief, woman! We're not at home now. This is a court of law.
I didn't want to. I was too busy focusing and watching to see if it would overfill, and it did. Oh my god. Okay, anyways, what was he saying?
And the woman's aim is uncanny. She landed a direct hit with every volley.
You know what? Your wife should have fought in the troops. She would have made a good shot, I think. Like, not even like shooting or anything. She's just like throwing stuff. Who needs a cannon when you got this woman? She'll just chuck the cannonballs and they'll hit their target every time.
Doing me. Ever so sorry, dear.
What's she even doing with the teapot in here?
Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously.
I'm watching him being gaslit in real time.
Take a look at this then. How do you suppose this happened,
Your pipe, sir.
Had this thing in my hands as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did, yes. And when I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage.
Gaslit? That doesn't exist. No, yeah, not right now, I don't think. I wonder what people would have called it back then, because I know they had like funny terms for things. I see. Your pipe was broken.
It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now.
You are one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear?
Like, I don't know if I should feel bad for this man. I wonder what we should make of this account. It could be important. It's always important. The defense believes Mr. Garrett's remark just now to be of great significance.
Objection.
This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife and pipes, as well as hearts may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony.
Indeed, common sense, one might say. Might one?
In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir? Well, I don't see why not.
Oh, you mean me? There you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady. Very well, the court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence. Okay.
I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruhodo. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request was turned down.
Oh, no, it's fine. Thanks to Susato-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully. Well, thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Garrett. Now, if we could return to the crux of the matter. What can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim? Phrasing, yeah. This game plays a lot around. Oh, I mixed up my sentences. Yeah, this game plays around a lot with phrasing. I want to examine that pipe. Let's see, examine. There's a chip here. Is that what I can look at? There's a small nick out of the bowl here. Look, it appears to have been made relatively recently.
And see how there are little scrapes and dents all over it. It's clearly a well-loved pipe.
Yes, you're right. It seems to me recently that being well-loved goes hand in hand with getting some battle scars. This particular nick is catching my eye, though, because it's clearly new. Okay. Zutala, what is this? Okay, I'm gonna look at it later. I want to look at this bandage. Oh, I accidentally held down. God damn it. I'll have to play it again. There we go. It looks to be in a sorry state with that bandage around it, doesn't it? But for some reason, it feels slightly ominous to me, like it's trying to shout out a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Garrett's dressing gown.
I suppose it must have considerable sentimental value to Mr. Garrett, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this.
Either that or he can't afford to replace it. Okay, there's something in here. It's like a piece of paper or something. What is this? Guys! Is it me or is that the tip of a knife in there? I'm not tripping, right? Oh, something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there.
Yes, I saw it. Something stuck in there, I think.
Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this? It's a tiny fragment of... Oh, this is Susato.
It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something.
Tip of a blade? Surely, it couldn't be. Oh, what was it doing in there? Oh, that must have mean the knife hit the pipe, right? Nicked it, tip broke off, fell in, and the rest of it sailed out and into that lady's back. I guess even if it didn't have the sharp tip, it would have still hurt. And like, given it fell from pretty high, yeah, ooh. Ugh. I don't want to think about the logistics. This is the tiny piece of metal we found in the chamber of Mr. Garrett's pipe.
It looks like the tip of a blade or something.
Tip of a blade?
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo?
I don't really know. There's just something niggling me, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is.
Perhaps in that case, it would be wise to examine some of the other pieces of evidence again.
Well, yeah, we know the knife is missing the tip. Oh my god, where's the knife? Examine. Open it. There we go. It's right here.
Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo. Just at the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
Wait, part of it's missing. I could be wrong, but I've just got a feeling. You remember this?
Oh, that's the tiny fragment of metal that we found inside Mr. Garrett's pipe.
Yes, and just maybe.
Oh my, it's a perfect fit.
Somehow, I just knew it. It's like some other outside force was controlling him and telling him. Okay. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to present, but I'm just gonna press him on everything because I want to hear all the dialogue. Sorry? Would you care to elaborate?
Nothing to say, really. Rather partial to a spot of carving, you see, pipes and whatnot. Fishing tackle, you know the sort of thing.
It's a passion we both share. I like to carve little wooden trinkets too. And then there's my leatherwork.
Do you think she carved this pipe for him and that's... I mean, it could be that he can't afford another one, but part of me wants to believe she carved that pipe for him and therefore it holds sentimental value.
Sorry to say, we're always losing knives about the place, and we have dozens of the things.
They sell them at the market sometimes. 20 for the piece of 20 for the price of 19. Needless to say, I snap them up. John prefers to use 2 knives at mealtimes too, instead of a knife and fork.
Excuse me?
What? How does that work? You... Instead of a knife and fork, you use 2 knives. How do you... That sounds so dangerous. How do you eat like that? It's like, yes, because food tastes better when you're constantly at risk of puncturing your mouth with the tip of a knife. This line is so insane to me. What is this?
Now, Joan, we don't want people thinking I'm some kind of...
Here we go again with the scaldings. Why are they being so invasive? It's the thrill of it? I don't know, man. I know some people are like adrenaline junkies, but like, dang. That sounds kind of like borderline... Yeah, I don't know.
I imagine it's because they don't want to believe it. They can't bear the thought that it might have been one of their knives that injured the victim.
Which is entirely understandable, of course, but still.
Go on with your testimony, witnesses. Sir!
Okay, the bally thing in the victim's back really was ours. You'll have a job proving it, I think. I think it's probably this statement that I present something on. So you have no intention of admitting it was your knife, unless we can produce proof. Look at the way he's shaking. Even though there's no other credible possibility if Mr. Natsume is innocent.
Objection!
You forget, my Nipponese friend, that it has yet to be established that the accused is not responsible for the attack.
As if I could forget. If only there was some way to know who had handled the knife. But I suppose wizardry like that is just a dream.
Perhaps you're thinking of fingerprinting, Mr. Naruhodo.
What? You mean it's not a dream? That sort of wizardry really exists?
Whenever people touch anything, they leave behind a unique pattern from their skin, or so they say.
But I can't see anything.
There are already countries in the world where these so-called fingerprints can be used as evidence. Lord Strongheart is currently discussing the matter at the Ministry of Justice.
Yes, I believe we are rapidly approaching an era of scientific methods of investigation. But for now, we shall have to find an alternative method of proving our assertion.
and that this knife found in the victim's back was originally in Mr. and Mrs. Garrett's house.
If only I could transplant this whole incident to several years in the future. Brain blast, watching you play this unlocked a memory. I used to have a video of Ace Attorney to the skit of a boot to the head. I don't think I've seen that skit. I'll have to look it up later. That's the extent of their testimony, is it?
What do you think, Mr. Naruto?
Well, I think we've heard all this before, to be honest. I can't say I'm particularly confident that we'll be able to prove anything new from this testimony.
But in this cross-examination, it's absolutely essential. And that we establish how this knife came to be at the scene of the incident.
Yes, I know.
I'm sure both of them must be feeling very worried. Worried that it was in fact a knife belonging to one of them that caused the victim's injury.
If we could find even a tiny shred of evidence to support that theory, it would clinch this trial for us. It would explain everything.
Yes, it would.
So for Sosuke-san's sake, we must find that last crucial piece of evidence. Okay, I'm gonna try to present on that last piece, the pipe. Because I think the pipe has it should have an updated description that it has the metal in it. A small fragment of metal was lodged inside the bowl. Yeah, I think that's what I do. Let me save though, because I haven't in a while. I highly recommend there's a remastered version apparently. Oh, okay. Okay. It's either I present the pipe or I present the piece of metal. Okay, well it says the small piece of metal was found inside the bowl of Mr. Garrett's pipe. It's a perfect fit for the missing tip of the knife found in the victim's back. I think this is what we have to present.
Objection.
Mr. Garrett, could I ask you to take a good look at this, please? I'm gonna eat dinner, but I'll lurk in return. Okay, thank you. Have a good dinner. I hope it's delicious.
You can ask, but I can't see a bally thing.
You can't?
Used to call me Dead-Eye Deb back in the regiment, of course, but that was some time ago now.
Dead-Eye Deb? Oh, 'cause Garrett.
Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest.
Oh, he does, dearie me. It's rather wearing being asked about every other letter and every other word.
You must be very dizzy.
What is that? A tiny scrap of metal?
Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear at first to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence.
Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence?
It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garrett's pipe.
My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how that got there.
And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? Are you suggesting that it is in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Briar Road?
I am.
What?
When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord.
You appear rather...
Oh my god, that's not the right voice.
You appear rather confident in that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well then, present the pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence, when paired with this fragment of metal, allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case?
Well, it's the knife, obviously.
Take that!
This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you'll see that there's a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing. A common issue with the inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in their victims' bones.
And what of this particular knife?
No doubt its tip has suffered a similar fate now, languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
Objection!
No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Garrett's pipe. Ah!
Good grief, Lord Van Zeeks! He looked so majestic falling backwards like that. It was like,
Oh, I didn't look so majestic doing that, but, you know. I don't believe it. The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match. He looks like a JoJo character when he does that pose.
good golly!
Ada! Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle.
A miracle?
So Van Zeeks has figured it out, has he?
Counsel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once.
Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Garrett's pipe? Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony.
Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did, yes. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid.
Damn.
Oh, dearie me.
During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Garrett flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Garrett, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course.
Good lord!
Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Garrett's pipe.
The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1.
And yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out of the open window.
Ah!
In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Garrett's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below.
Oh gosh, oh dear, oh. No!
Oh, she's on a box.
Objection!
I also love how John's robes, like the back of it, are completely soiled in what I think is tea. A full-bodied theory. I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points, plausibly arranged, create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. Sorry? But after all, it is just a theory. A game theory. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because you see, it's spoiled by an insurmountable inconsistency. An insurmountable? What?
Lord Van Zeeks, explain yourself.
What is this inconsistency you claim to have identified?
An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with the knife planted in the middle of her back.
Yes, in her...
That's right, you silly little man.
Now, Joan, old thing, what are you getting so excited about?
Let us consider the basic facts of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. For the knife that struck her had fallen from above. There's no possible way it could have planted itself onto the victim's back. I just realized there's a hole on his robes where his butt is. Like the tea singed a hole through his robes. Oh my goodness, the poor man. Luckily his underwear his boxers seem to be temperature resistant. Order! Order!
Quite right, you see, that's exactly right. If the knife had fallen on her from above, it would have struck her on top of her head.
Well,
He's lost for words, look.
I knew it. I never liked his theory in the first place.
I don't know, though, what really did happen.
It would appear the defense has made rather a spectacular blunder.
If the theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history.
we were so close. I could see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now the way's been blocked completely. By just one simple inconsistency. Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency and the theory will stand. Miss Usato. You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all, and your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed correct, then the way will present itself. The key to this is in the courtroom. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there.
It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tacit acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed.
Objection!
This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes. If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is.
What are you implying?
Counsel? There's a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. That can explain how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer.
Goodness.
Utter madness!
Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak.
This is the last inconsistency. The final piece in the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back it has to be the book, right?
Take that!
This, the fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present. The burnt book.
Is that not Mr. Garrett's book? Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand.
But as we all now know, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that.
Quite so. As part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road.
That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. But what made you place the book in the victim's hand?
Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand.
In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. And clearly that must have been before she suffered the knife wound.
Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd have been doing much of anything.
So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand?
By Jingo!
I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now.
Oh, dearie me.
We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Garrett household onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment that the victim was walking past.
Yes, at exactly that moment. The young woman was walking along the street in the light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her.
The book I threw.
Yes, Mrs. Garrett. And what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement?
Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked the book up.
Oh, she looks so cute in this. Look at her. Yes, that is exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book.
Oh, heavens!
And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Yeah, if only people were like turtles, then this would have never happened. Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book, the next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at that same time, walking by chance directly behind Miss Green, was the defendant, Mr. Soski Natsume.
Well, I never!
It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above.
And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker.
So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place.
No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Garrett,
The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that.
There, old bean.
or Mrs. Garrett.
Of
course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book, and I threw the knife as well. John, dear.
It's all right, I know.
I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry. He caught her. Oh, he's stuck. He's stuck. Oh my god. Lord Van Zeeks, what news of Mrs. Garrett?
She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events had left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern.
Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could have easily been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions.
There is some good news, however, my lord. I've just had word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon.
It's strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her. Wonderful! The woman is out of danger, it seems. Yes, that is good news. So, Mr. Sosuke Natsume.
Yes.
On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. I don't remember what voice I did for him.
No, it is me who should be begging your pardon.
Oh, no, Mr. Natsume.
That evening, the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes. I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion.
What conclusion, sir?
I was sure that the woman was dead.
Yes, Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he?
He thought she had been killed, too.
I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless.
It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog. Like they're haunting me.
Poor Sosuke-san. His imagination really has got the better of him.
Yes, poor man. So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. And for that, I am truly sorry.
One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by this spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Zeeks and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has now been broken and the spirit exorcised. I heartily commend you both. Oh!
Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yes, my lord.
In concluding this trial, I must ask one last time for your decisions regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court?
As the foreman of this jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion.
I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times.
Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Sitting in for the old beam while she's out of action, you know, but I know what her decision would be. Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time.
I say, I'll have a corker of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Very well, Mr. Sergei Natsme, I hereby pronounce you not guilty.
Yay! I love how there's still confetti. The confetti's just, I don't know, it's just not the same without the confetti. I don't know how I feel about the fireworks, though. Oh, I've been blinded.
And finally, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, Lord, sir.
You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me.
Oh, yes, sir, of course. On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in a courtroom again. I'm transported to tears. Oh, I have to click.
Thank you, counsellors. Court is adjourned.
Oh, I'm getting sleepy. Oh, locum. Wait, you mean me? Of course! Is there another locum here? Is there even one? Compared to the original locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with using my actual name? Oh, at last! Oh, this is Soski. Oh, at last! I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilation! Heedy, hearty, happiness, hurrah! Oh, I'm pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted. Would it be so hard just to say that then? Locum, you did it! You saved me from the brink! Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, not that! Lovely, loyal, locum lawyer. Yes? I mean, as I said before, I've just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from high up windows, I see them looking down on me, laughing. Look at that little hunchback. Oh dear, I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume. But today, you, locum lawyer, gave my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind that baronial bench before all those blabbering British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireproofs... God, I can't read right now. Fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I believed. Behold, the best barrister ever born! Man is so moved right now. Well, that's very flattering. We're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan. Also, heads up, we have ads in 5 minutes. And an anecdote? Is that what's to become of all my hard work? Who is this?
Ah, there you are, my dear fellows.
Oh no, it's Sherlock Sholmes!
I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning.
Man looks like Jojo's dad. Oh shit, you're right, a little bit. Sherlock Sholmes, I missed him. Sometimes you just need the himbo energy to balance everything out.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure to see you. I see I'm here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say.
Oh.
The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck.
Ooh, the trial's over. It's just finished.
What? No, then my haste was in vain?
Ah! It's you. Sherlock Sholmes.
Oh, have we met, sir? This is Mr. Natsume, the man you had arrested, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom, either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light.
Charming. The Sholmes has Chad energy. He's got such big himbo energy and I love him. He basically fills a little bit of that void Gumshoe leaves. This is all your fault, Sherlock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. Is he gonna start writing a poem?
My apologies, sir, but I assure you I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not?
Ah!
Had she been taken to hospital more urgently? I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now.
Oh.
But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience.
I do feel very badly about how I behaved.
Well, never mind now. Now then, what was it that you wanted to say to me, sir?
Nothing.
Priceless. Oh, I am sorry, really, but that was quite priceless.
Poor Sosuke-san.
Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty.
But there's no bright side.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume?
Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper.
Ah, Lord Van Zeeks.
I haven't forgotten, you know, that what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed.
It'll be all right, Mr. Natsume.
He's so shook. Okay, for anyone who's lost by what he means, basically anyone who has been in court where Lord Van Zeeks was the prosecutor and was found not guilty, they always end up dying like a couple days later, or like sometime after the trial they end up dying anyway. So they're found not guilty, but they end up dying. And I think that's why they call him the Grim Reaper. He's gonna shit himself? Yeah, he's got the poop shakes right now.
If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you. Hiya! With a perfectly executed Susato takedown.
Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of a warning might be nice next time, Miss Susato. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan.
Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon.
Oh,
It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here and the city it has shaped. And I've come to realize that it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it.
that's very touching, Mr. Natsume.
Or, in perhaps less veiled terms, he's running away so he doesn't die. You wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse.
That's not it at all! The more I learn of literature, the more the strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen work my own.
Oh, I see. A work of literature by Sosuke-san. Could be an interesting read. And what about Miss Usato and yourself, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? What about us? Will you return to blah 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 blah. Will you return to why am I struggling so hard? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustached compatriot? Why would we?
A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. And only now does it feel as though we've finally found our feet.
And you are accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not? Are we gonna become roommates? That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us.
I've calculated we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted.
Well then, you could take my lodgings.
Oh, the windowless rooms?
Ah, but well, it lacks in windows, and more than makes up for with a floor, a ceiling, and walls.
Oh my god. 4 walls and a ceiling and a floor? That's such a bargain. Ah, and they were roommates. Yeah, I would love that, but it's not gonna happen. Great.
And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit.
Oh my, an evil spirit.
Oh yes. It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an invaluable wake-up call.
He means the cat. We saw a cat when we went into his room. That's what's suffocating him in his sleep. Oh my god. I mean, he's not wrong. It is kind of a demon. Well, think about it, if that's all right. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me? Yeah! And they were roommates!
Really?
Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself. Though it's up in the attic, I might add. Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. I keep hitting the snooze because I feel like this is like coming to an end and I want to reach it.
You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of.
Oh, this is simply wonderful. What an honor to be invited to taking lodgings in the great detective's office's attic. I'm too overcome for words.
So suggesting we look elsewhere is out then.
Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist.
I don't know what to say. Thank you, and yes.
Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shan't take long.
Somebody's happy. Dude, I would be happy too if I was roommates with Herlock Sholmes. Welcome. I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But welcome, we'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then I'll be a successful lawyer. I wonder if the second game has us return to Japan. Hopefully by then I'll be a successful author.
Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, Mr. Sholmes.
I've little doubt Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening.
And so, with Sosuke-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street. Yeah! Okay, you know what? I'm gonna run the ads here, because I think, you know what? Here's a good spot to stop. The attic room. Okay. I'm gonna pause here, and we're gonna run the ads. So, 3 minutes. I'll see you guys back in 3 minutes, and we will continue with this. I'm so excited! And they were roommates! Oh, I'm probably too more excited for this than I should be. Okay, I'm gonna save. This is great. So we get to live in his attic. I can't wait to see Iris again. She's so cute. I love her. So I guess instead of I actually don't remember. Is it Iris Watson? I think it might have been Iris Watson. But yeah. I think it's interesting that they decided to like I think the only similarities that Herlock Sholmes has with Sherlock Holmes is he's a detective. Their names are kind of similar, and then like where they live. Otherwise, it's like, yeah. There's no John. Technically there was a John Watson, but he's dead. So there's just no, not a John Watson, a John Wilson. Wilson. I think Iris's last name is Wilson too. Yeah, there was a John Wilson. He was a professor, and he's dead. So Iris has no father then, I think. I'm pretty sure that is Iris's father. I could be wrong, could be her uncle, but you know, I don't think they ever stated. I don't think it'll be too much of a spoiler if I go Google. I'll just Google John Wilson because I already know he's dead. Great ace attorney. Surely the wiki has something to say about him. Associates, family. None is mentioned. Okay. Are Iris and John Wilson not related at all? I'm like very confused. Well, I guess they just, I don't know, I guess their last names were just similar. They just have the same last name. Hmm. Okay then. But yes, after this little attic scene, the next case is the last one. And you know what? I can't wait. Very excited. Okay, 15 seconds supposedly. Perhaps people are already back from the ads, but we'll see. A new thing I've noticed with Twitch ads is I think they now fully show how long the ads are. Welcome back. Because I think what I've noticed now with Twitch is like, because normally instead it would show like some sort of number and then it would, in brackets, it would show you how long an ad is. But now I think it just shows you like the entire time, like say like 1 minute, and then like the counter will just go down from a minute and it'll just play ads until then. That's what I've noticed anyway. Alright, back to this attic. It's it doesn't look bad. There's an aquarium. I wonder what we can keep in there. So this
Is to be our new office, yes.
our office? I rather like the sound of that.
Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it?
I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step. But I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. Do you think there's a mouse that lives on the same street? I don't know. 221B Baker Street. I'm not sure if you're trying to make a reference because I don't think I'm getting it. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Oh no, he's hot! Sorry, I need a moment. I need a moment. I need a moment. I need a moment to calm down. Oh my god. Holy crap. Okay, excuse me. Oh my god. I wasn't expecting this. The Great Mouse Detective lived on Baker Street. I don't think I watched or seen The Great Mouse Detective. Or was it a book series? Anyways, I'm screaming on the inside. Holy crap, I'm screaming. It's an old attack movie? Oh, okay, I probably haven't seen it then. Okay, I'm done staring at him. I mean, I'm lying about that, but I'm gonna keep on reading, otherwise we'll be stuck here. 1986? Oh yeah, that's like what? Almost 40 years ago? Right? Yeah, almost 40. Ah, Mr. Sholmes. Yes, thank you so much.
It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it.
Good, I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you.
I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We'll have a lot to celebrate.
Iris, you must let me help you.
Alright then, Susie, you can be in charge of the salad.
Splendid.
I swear to God, if I get a call that Mr. Natsume's dead, I'm gonna cry. So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us.
Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is.
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna take a little snippet. Can you blame me? Just don't perceive me. Just don't perceive me right now. Don't perceive me. I gotta find somebody later to scream about this. Sorry?
London is a glorious place full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth. But the brightest of lights cast the darkest of shadows.
Shadows? What do you mean?
Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So, once again, Mr. Naruhodo, welcome to London.
Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes spoke. Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke, but it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. Oh, the end! Okay, next case. Oh, which means we get to watch another cutscene. I can't believe, like, these past 4 cases have, like... Okay, well, maybe not the first one, because, like, the first one was, like, you know, like... I guess technically the second one doesn't count either because it was on the boat. But let's say, like, the third and fourth case, like, that all happened within the span of a week, and I think that's crazy. Okay, save my progress. Yes. Yeah, okay, this is the last one of the first game. The Adventure of the Unspeakable Story. Oh, look, it's the Hound of the Baskervilles. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. I don't quite remember the story behind the Hound of the Baskervilles. I just know it's like some sort of like spirit entity, right? That's said to like haunt Baskerville. I'm just Googling quickly because I'm curious. I mean, I know it's also a Sherlock Holmes book, but like, I could have sworn like that the actual hounds themselves were some sort of like legend. Yeah, based on a local legend of a spectral hound that haunted Dartmoor in Devonshire. Okay. Alright, time to start this. Yes.
It's coming! Sholmes's cry pierced through the thick wall of fog around us. Wisps of vapor flowed over the pistol as I cocked it, and I waited, breathlessly, in the stillness. The silence lasted for what seemed an eternity, until, at last, it appeared. From the shadows of the cloud, an enormous beast sprang out upon us. A hound it was, but not such a hound as any mortal has ever seen. Its eyes glowed with a smoldering glare. The whole of its ox-sized body was outlined in white-hot flames. Its rumbling pant and hideous howl, so terrified was I that I began to tremble with fear. "Look well, Wilson," Sholmes declared, gazing upon the mystical beast. "For this is the diabolical Hound of the Baskervilles."
Oh, that was it. Our first 2 months in London passed by in a flash. In that disconcerting courtroom experience we were first thrown into on the day we arrived in the country. And in Sosuke-san's terrible ordeal that had followed closely behind, we had emerged victorious. Wilson instead of Watson? Yeah, that seems to be what they're going for. Herlock Sholmes and Wilson. Also, I didn't know there was narration in this game. There's only narration in like the first little bit of every episode. There's normally like a cutscene at the beginning of each episode, and it's like all voiced. It's very nice. I do love watching them. Also, hello, James. Welcome. How are you doing today? However, there then came an abrupt end to our opportunities to appear in court. Which was hardly surprising, of course, since I was nothing more than an amateur, an unknown student of law from a faraway land. So life in our little office was very quiet. That is, until it was shattered one day by that fateful telegram. Oh? Naruhodo's legal consultancy. I want to see the attic. Is it? Oh, knock, knock, knock. I want to see the attic and like how it's been cleaned up. Not cleaned up at all, it seems. We have fish now. Oh my god. Look. I saw that there was a little aquarium and they decided to fill it up. That's cute. And then there's the kettle on the stove. Oh my god. It looks so cozy. I'm doing good. Oh, that's good to hear. That morning, I was woken by the unreserved knocking on the door by the telegram boy. But after he'd gone, Susato-san's behavior became very obviously strange. Susato-san?
Yes. Is it time to leave for court already? Let me see. What case is it today?
I don't think I'm scheduled to defend anyone at the moment. Am I?
Oh! No, of course not. How silly of me.
But I think Iris said she would make us breakfast this morning. So shall we go down to Mr. Sholmes' suite?
Yes. Iris makes the most delicious breakfast food.
She does, doesn't she?
And once our bellies are full, we can leave for court in fighting fit form. Let me see. What case is it today?
Here we go again. She okay? So, what was it about? The telegram that was delivered this morning, I mean.
Oh, a telegram? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sorry, but you're not going to get away with that.
Well, I didn't think I would. Actually, don't give it a moment's thought. It's nothing interesting. Boring, in fact. It was just a boring old telegram.
That's 3 times now that she's tried and failed to convince me it was nothing.
I promise that I'll tell you about it at some point.
Alright, I understand. I suppose Sosuke-san will have arrived back in Japan by now, won't he?
Yes, I should think so. He left immediately after that terrible ordeal. Which would mean he should have completed the voyage already, or be just a few days away.
A fortnight ago, we had that very long telegram from him. Do you remember? Complaining of seasickness. But by and large, it seems the voyage has been going well.
Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san?
I was just wondering what might have become of Sosuke-san had he stayed in London, that's all.
You mean, as regards Lord Van Zeeks? the Reaper.
Yes. I can't help wondering if seasickness would have wondering if seasickness would have paled into insignificance in that case. What is it they say? That no one who stands in the dock can be saved from the Reaper, right? Like the way that nightmarish trial ended on the very day we arrived in London.
Even 2 months on, the cause of that dreadful fire is still a mystery.
Yes, but at least Sosuke-san is safely out of the country now. Presumably, that means.
That the curse of the Reaper can only take effect within the confines of the city of London, perhaps.
Even if that's the case, it's little comfort. I have a terrible sense of foreboding.
If the legend of the Reaper is to be believed, it would mean he wields the sword of justice himself.
Come to think of it, I wonder what he's been up to these past 2 months. Surely, not wielding that sword against more acquitted defendants.
No, I don't think so. Apparently, Lord Van Zieks hasn't appeared in court once since our last encounter.
Oh?
Yes, since Sosuke-san's trial, he's withdrawn from judicial service again, it seems.
Really? Just like before, when he wasn't seen in court at all for several years. So it's just been me who's had to face him in his recent spate of trials then. Just my luck.
I wonder if luck doesn't come into it.
Sorry? What was that?
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
Time to go, I guess.
Morning, Bruno. Morning, Susie.
I don't know. Is he trying to play a scale? Is that Shomes playing the violin? I'm crying. I know Iris said that he's not actually, like, he can't actually play the violin. But this is, oh, this is something. Ah! Thank you for the cheese cannon. Hello, Bresler. I swear to God, he's trying to play a scale. But, like, it's so bad I can't tell if he's actually trying to play a scale. Ah! It's so bad. It's like... Oh, God. Your ears are bleeding? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a scale. Okay, I'm gonna put everyone out of their misery and just continue because I think eventually he's gonna stop.
Good morning, Iris.
Iris?
What is it, Bruno?
What is that terrible noise? It sounds like a cat being strangled.
Oh, yes. You noticed that, didn't you? You noticed that, did you?
That's not gonna drown out the game, but thank you.
Holy isn't in the best form this morning, it seems.
Ah, thank you!
Hello. Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Good morning.
Good morning to die, perhaps.
Bro, what's wrong? Has something happened, Mr. Sholmes? You look miserable, and the way you were playing the violin before. My analytical mind is dead. Music is dead. The world is dead.
Damn this blanched existence!
That's all it is, my dear fellow. Nothing of consequence. I'm afraid I don't understand. Well, Iris, isn't it time we ate? Some dry toast and insipid coffee for me, if it's not too much trouble.
Hello, puppy!
Oh, that's the cat from the room, isn't it? The little evil spirit that was suffocating Soski. Oh, look, it's Swagahai. Good morning. Oh, good morning, boy.
It's so baby! It's the tiny puppy!
That must be some sort of tiny door for cats to use. But how did it get there?
Well then, everyone, time for breakfast.
Oh, wonderful. Let me help you, Iris.
Ugh, it would indeed be a fine day to die. I knew something looked different. Does he not like cats? Oh, something's missing from Mr. Sholmes' desk. You guys don't think the cat knocked everything over, do you? Oh my god, could you imagine? The cat like knocked over all his like scientific instruments and they all broke or something? Oh, that would make me depressed. That was as if it would be the same as if like I don't know, it's basically you're working on something and then like it gets destroyed to pieces. Oh, I just leave. Boo boo, what's wrong? You seem to be very unhappy this morning, Mr. Sholmes. What's happened? It used to be the case that in my hands, this violin sung like the dawn chorus. Its melosonic tones would make a flower's bloom. It would? But now, the muses are unamused with me. The goddesses of music have thrown me over. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? For hours I abode? For days even. Through the night I have endeavored to no avail. That sound, my tone, is lost. That brilliant, clear, unwavering tone, gone forever, no more recitals of unbridled emotion.
Well, you haven't been practicing much lately, have you, Hurley?
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll come back to you in time. Oh, that's so going to be me when I eventually get the saxophone back. I'm going to get it back and I'm gonna play it and it's gonna sound like ass. That's if I manage to find enough money to get one, but you know, we'll see. It's still a dream. I can still dream. Read my words, Mr. Naruhodo. The goddesses of the arts are fickle. One day they bestow genius on a man, the next they unmercifully withdraw it. Oh, dear. Ah! Why is this happening to me? If they take the turn I have for the violin from me, what is left, for pity's sake? What is left? Deduction, perhaps? Isn't that what you're known for?
Mr. Sholmes, I don't like to pry, but your desk looks rather empty today. Well done, Miss Usato. Your observational skills do you credit. Oh, no, Mr. Sholmes. They pale in significance when compared to yours.
You'd struggle not to notice, wouldn't you?
You mean Hurley's great analytoscope? That's at Winterbanks now.
Sorry? It's at a windy bank?
No, Winterbanks, the pawnbrokery.
You pawned your machine?
What?
You mean you pawned that enormous machine of yours? It has some considerable value, you see. Quite undeservingly.
But isn't it a very important machine for your work? I do wish you had consulted us if your situation had become so desperate. I should have gladly passed what little income I have to you.
Dear madam, things are far from desperate. My voice broke a little.
But the pawnbroker has your wonderful machine. How can it be anything but desperate?
Making use of a pawnbrokery is quite ordinary here in London, I assure you. Is it? It doesn't sound ordinary at all. It would seem that neither of you fully understand how pawnbroking works. Oh. What's to understand exactly? Okay, how does pawnbroking work? Isn't it like you... Normally, it's either you sell things for money or like you sell something for money with the intention of buying it back later. What did you mean when you said we didn't fully understand how pawnbroking works? To the people of London, pawnbrokeries are akin to banks.
Banks?
On Mondays, merchants relinquish their finest jackets and trappings to their pawnbroker of choice. With the money they receive in return, they are able to trade happily through the week.
And then on Saturdays, they go to recover their things using the money they've earned.
I had no idea. This has been a fascinating lesson for us.
Everyone does it, you see, especially people in inner London.
And should they have money to spare, they would purchase another fine jacket. Not to wear, obviously, but to pawn, should the need arise.
Oh, how ingenious.
So whenever we have something that's getting in the way, we leave it at Winterbanks, you see?
A pawnbrokery can be thought of as an extremely secure vault. Who would have thought that even pawnbrokers are different here in Great Britain?
Of course, you have to watch Hurley with it. Sometimes he pawns things he really shouldn't. Don't you, Hurley?
What does it matter? The world is dead to me now. Okay. Oh, can I talk to Iris? Ooh, I can ask her about the cat. Yeah, tell me about the kitty. Mr. Natsume's cat seems to have settled in his new home then.
Oh yes, and I've become very attached to little Waggy.
It would appear his previous owner is completely forgotten to him. Cats are unfeeling creatures. Their mews are empty as the hearts of the muses.
If Mr. Natsume had no intention of taking Waggy back to Japan, I wonder why he kept him in the first place.
Is there like Is there a button? I want to take a picture of that so bad. There might not be. What was it? PC config? No. Key config. I don't think there's anything to hide. No. It's so cute though. Yeah, no, there's nothing. Looks like I have to take another snippet. She's so cute. I just wish the text box wasn't in the way. Okay, where's my snipping tool? I'm sure there's probably some artwork of her like holding the cat properly without the text box in the way. Or for my personal records, that will be good enough. I expect he would have taken him if he could. But pets are strictly forbidden aboard steamships in our experience. Oh, that's right! Oh, I'm thinking back to that cat. I mean, I can't fault it, but like, oh my god. The where everything went wrong.
And for good reason. Terrible things can happen if the rules of passage are not obeyed.
Yeah, people could die. People could die.
Well, I don't mind because Waggy is adorable.
Yes, he really is. Oh, yes, what about the door? Ah! I wish I had, like, taken a snippet then. I'm so sad. Let me do a separate save file. Yes. Yeah, okay. I don't remember seeing that tiny thing in the main door before. Where did that come from?
Oh, you noticed? You are observant, Runo. Look, I use this. It's my latest invention.
What? What is that?
I call it the cat flapper mat.
Gosh, a machine for making doors just for cats?
That's right. I can make a cat flap for a little furry friend like Waggy in seconds. And it can do it in any door at all, no matter what it's made of. It's very powerful, you see.
Wouldn't it have been quicker just to make the cat flap rather than making a machine to make the cat flap?
Well, yes. Maybe. But now I can make cat flaps anywhere I like.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. You must make one for us in the door of our office upstairs, Iris.
She really knows how to come up with unconventional inventions, this girl. What happened?
Oh, what was that?
A Wagai? What was that?
Oh no!
Wagahai's tangled up in your violin.
I think he thinks it's a toy.
No! What's he doing to it?
Oh dear. Mr. Sholmes' precious violin.
Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised if the cat is a more accomplished musician than I now. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he?
Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives, shall I, Hurley?
Out of the cat's reach if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Oh, hold on, is it... B to look around? Look at that. Ooh, one of the strings is broken, I think. So this is the violin, is it? It's a Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Aren't those like crazy expensive? Oh, I see. It doesn't really look like anything special to me. I happened upon it covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion at every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. I ask you, is there reason to live in a world devoid of music? To tolerate this blanched existence? No. There is none. Mr. Sholmes. What, dear madam? What? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from this dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? What do you mean, Miss Susato?
Oh, Susie's right. Yes, the tone of the wood is completely different.
And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? Is this a viola? I'm terribly sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. Then, what? I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. Ah, yeah, I'm right. What? 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 What was that ragdoll animation? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you all right? You're right. You are quite right. This isn't my fateful Stradivarius. So what? Pray, is this piece of stringed flotsam not your fateful performing partner, then?
Ah, I see what must have happened then.
You do, Iris. Don't tell me he pawned his violin and then, like, when they gave it back to him, they gave him the wrong one. You do, Iris.
This is just a simple mix-up.
Sounds like Iris might be able to tell us exactly what's happened if we ask her. I can't seem to maintain the Iris voice for too long. Okay, mix-up. What did you mean by a mix-up, Iris?
Well, you see, this violin... Sorry, this viola, I mean... was at Winterbank's until last week.
At the pawnbroker's? Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved musical partner. Is this what Iris means by pawning things he shouldn't? There is a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Yes, indeed. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth.
Oh, what a wonderful idea!
Good luck, me. Thank you. Also, hello, Caldonia. But yes, thank you. I'm assuming perhaps you're leaving, but yes, thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Last week I pawned my great analytoscope in order to release my precious instrument. But it would appear Mr. Winterbank mistakenly furnished me with his tawdry fiddle instead. But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. Oh god, hydrate, thank you. I think I read that wrong. The hollow timbre. Yeah, okay, yeah. I read this wrong. English is so hard. Why does English have to be so hard? But my ears cannot be deceived by the hollow timbre of this piece of timber. Yeah, the R and E are switched around. I'm dyslexic. Oh my god. Posture check? No, I've been tripping. Thank you. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw. Pshaw. A fine state of affairs this is, and why I always say, Mr. Naruhodo, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time. But earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbrokery as an extremely secure vault. Oh, Jesus. Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry? Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect, fretting your coffee so obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency with which we are faced?
We must visit Mr. Winterbank's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes?
Precisely, Miss Susato, without a moment's delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to press your eggs ever more obtusely. All right, say no more. Let's go then.
Don't worry, Bruno. I'd be happy to heat it up for you again later.
Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I am rather curious to see what a British pawnbroker's looks like. Man, I would be so upset if I was eating and someone was like, we gotta go now. I'd be like, no. Okay, time to go to the pawnbrokers. Okay, I can go to Baker Street, which I guess is outside. Oh. Let's just go straight to the pawnbrokers. You know, I've never been to a pawnbroker before. I mean, I guess I've never really had a reason to. So this is a British pawnbrokery.
Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid eyes on before.
Susato-san, and that spark of wonder in your eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you enjoy places like this.
Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me.
My dear fellows, let us not forget why we are here.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes.
We are calling on matters of business, not pleasure. Clearly, Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging by the spark of fury in his eyes. He's so cute. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruhodo, and it's time to inform Mr. Winterbank of our ire. Come, the fight is afoot. Okay, the violin.
Naturally, you will recall this, which I retrieved from you some days ago.
Yes.
This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Winterbank. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size.
A wonderful summary of our observations, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. How utterly unforgivable of me, an inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There was only one way to make amends. I shall have to take my own life. Like, first when he started running, I thought it was funny because the animations, anytime they do animations, is hilarious. And then he grabbed the gun. And I was like, okay, we're gonna have to fight. No. Oh my god. I like how he's just unfazed.
I don't think that will be necessary, do you?
If I may just say one more thing before I pop off. This is funny because popping off has such a different meaning in today's time. Could you imagine if this came back though? If like popping off took a different meaning, took on this meaning instead. Oh dear. The TikTokers would have a field day.
Yes.
It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove the item the other day, I believe.
Sorry.
As I recall, I entered the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, "Ah, here it is."
You did?
And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. So I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me.
No, stop, my dear fellow. The fault is mine.
Whew.
It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Winterbank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy.
Well, you wouldn't be Mr. Sherlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you?
I do believe you may be right, sir.
It's either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I needed to remind you of the peculiar collection of items you've brought through my door in the past.
Oh? Peculiar items?
In the extreme, ma'am. For example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Sherlock Sholmes or some such.
Oh my, a new full-fledged novel? And unpublished? A story I've yet to read, you mean?
Oh, forgive me.
Wait, before you die, you must tell me more.
I like how she's not at all trying to convince him not to do it. It's just, before you go, can you do something for me?
I must know more. Tell me everything.
Wow, Susato-san is really fired up now.
Is it really an unpublished story? Under this very roof?
Well, one day the gentleman here brought in an old metal chest, you see.
I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Winterbank.
For a chest like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a farthing more.
It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript, recounting the adventures of one Mr. Sherlock Sholmes.
I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript?
Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here.
And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom.
Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely.
Of course, sir. Of course. They're safe and sound with me, I assure you, on my life.
This is all very strange. I wonder, could I ask you something?
A gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suit, I suppose I could offer you. 6 pence for it. Without wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull.
Sorry?
Aha! But for your splendid attire, ma'am. 5 guineas, no less. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say.
Oh my, 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. Why do I feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here? Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that pawnbrokeries are used rather like banks here in London.
Yes, sir, indeed. Many of my customers utilize the establishment as you describe. I appraise their items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure stowage. If in that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned.
But what happens if they don't pay you the money?
Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me.
So you never sell items before the 2 months has passed then?
That's right, ma'am, that's right. Which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer's precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all.
The very idea, Mr. Winterbank, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually. Says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. And let us not forget that I've already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. Oh? What sort of measures? I engineered a simple device, which Mr. Winterbank has installed here in this shop. I call it the Red-Handed Recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Winterbank? What was that deep sigh about? What on earth is a red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are just 2 below the ceiling. I can see what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. Very astute. It is indeed a camera, furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid. God, why is that so hard to say? Celluloid, right? Celluloid. Oh, I can't English. Of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop.
I have an example I can show you.
Oh, okay. So this is gonna be used. God, I saw like a pair of feet and I was like really creeped out, and then I saw it was attached to a doll. Which is still kind of creepy, but less creepy. And also he has a picture of his dog! It's so cute. Ah yes, print from the camera set to record the activity at the shop counter. Oh, it's the door for the stockroom, I'm assuming. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary. Yes. Oh. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it. Look. So you see, were someone to enter the premises with ill intent, his identity would be summarily exposed. But did you not say that the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals?
Also, heads up, we have an ad break in 5 minutes.
Indeed, as you say, my dear madam. Then what if the incident were to occur in between times?
One could only say that would be a cruel twist of fate. I must confess your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Winterbank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word.
It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not 1 but 2 cameras in my shop after all. Which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older.
Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no? My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at a price.
Oh, heaven help us. Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin.
Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Winterbank.
Perhaps this might mark the end of the peculiar items you tried to pop, Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you ought to stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt. Fear not. Sorry? I've only loaded a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. That's not really what I meant.
Good day to you then, Mr. Winterbank.
It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes.
And so, Mr. Naruhodo, now we can explore at last.
Is Sholmes still here? I kind of want to... Okay, I want to see if he's back at the house. I don't think so. No. I was just hoping I could hear him play the violin. Alright, time to go to... But you know, is there anything different? What is this? This is where Iris notes down ideas, isn't it? Let's see, what does it say today? Ah, the Boscombe Valley mystery.
Ooh, how intriguing. It must be the title of Iris's latest work. Oh my, I wonder what fantastic tale awaits us.
Susada-san looks like an angel, but I bet she's dreaming of the most unsavory crime you could imagine. That's usually how it is. Her typewriter? Come to think of it, I haven't seen Iris do much writing recently. But there's paper already set up in the typewriter. Look, as if she's about to start.
And that reminds me, when I mentioned that Iris was in the process of writing a full-fledged novel, Mr. Natsume was most impressed.
Ah yes, Mr. Natsume.
That's what I'll be doing too once I'm back in Japan, he said, though tightly through tightly clenched fists and teeth.
Alright, medicine cabinet. That's a charming little white shelf and full of charming little bottles too. But the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems.
Science is the future, Mr. Naruhodo. You can't deny it. I'm saving my money so that I can buy some chemistry apparatus as well.
Law, chemistry, takedown throws. What diverse skills you boast, Miss Usato.
As useful as they are, I'm not sure that my throwing skills are worthy of inclusion in that list.
Okay, ads are in 20 seconds. I'm gonna run them now, and I will see you again in 3 minutes, and I think when we hit the next hour mark, not like hour, but I mean like, I guess technically like 20 minutes from now, I'll end the stream, so I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay. Yes, okay, ads are starting. I'm not sure if it'll say the same thing for everything I look at here. Oh, hello, Tickle. Although I don't know if you can hear me right now because of the ads, so I will wait to say hello again. I think in the meantime, I'll go double check if someone... I think people are streaming right now. Some people, I think. But that's alright. Okay, 2 minutes. Oh, I was really hoping to hear him play the violin. Is that a gunshot up there? It's like, those are bullet holes that say VR. VR, right? Can I look at this? Oh my god, I can look at that. Okay, I'm very interested in that. So much to look at, oh my goodness. I think in the time span it takes me to look at all this stuff and to like maybe explore the pawn shop, it'll probably be time to end stream. Let's see. Move. I don't think there's going to be anything up here. Yeah, no. I do want to examine though, like it looks cozy. I like, oh, is this where she like grinds down tea? Okay. What is that? It's like that looks like a little baby in a jar, and it's cursed. I do want to know about the aquarium. Oh yes, okay, we get to look at the aquarium. I think those are onions hanging up. But yeah, you can definitely tell where Susato works and where Naruhodo works. Back to the suite. 40 seconds. You know what? I'm actually gonna... No. I might regret it, but I'll hold it in. Because I'm not gonna be streaming for much longer. Are the ads finished? I don't know. Can you... I can't tell if you still have ads, Tickle, or not. But 15 seconds. Waiting, almost over. I suppose the next thing I want to look at, I'm gonna go to this side. It's probably gonna be the tea set, although I don't think I'll uncover anything interesting. Okay, ads are done. Welcome back. Hello, Tickle, how are you doing? Right, let's look at this tea set. Iris's beautiful tea set is there on the table as usual. A cup of one of her special herbal blends always helps me to relax when I'm feeling the strain. Imagine having ads. Yeah, I don't know. Some people buy the turbo thing, or some people have ad blockers, so... Oh my goodness. But yeah. Whatever, you know, whatever works for you. I just always run them to avoid the pre-roll ads.
The English pastime of tea has many similarities with our own tea ceremony customs, don't you think? It's the idea of hospitality behind it, and that's the essence of tea.
These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, I think. If he'd been involved in my case, I wonder if the beef steak from the Carnival would be on display here. Ew, it would be like rotting by now.
A mystery shoe and curious hammers, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Huh, what an entrancing collection.
Looks like an untidy assortment of junk to me. Rather like what's on my own shelves.
Well, you really ought to learn to keep your things in order, Mr. Naruhodo.
No favoritism there at all. Oh yeah, when Mr. Sholmes has a shelf like that, Susato thinks it's amazing. When I have a shelf like that, she calls me a pig. Looks like the huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. Seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock.
Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always have to keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous.
How did you come to that conclusion? Okay, what's up here? The fire is burning comfortably in the grate again today. It's a very different feeling to a Japanese hibachi somehow.
Oh, look at that photographic print of a lady displayed on the mantelpiece. Could it be? Yes, it must be. It's the woman. Oh, how exciting.
Is that supposed to mean something to me? The woman? I got an achievement for that? What? What was the woman about? The only woman I can think of is whatever Ace Attorney's version would be of Irene Adler. Because that is the only woman that's like often mentioned in Sherlock Holmes. I will have to say though, my memory is very rusty, so I can't quite remember too much about Irene Adler and what she did. I think she outsmarted Holmes, but I can't quite remember. I think he could have been in love with her. I don't remember. It was just, yeah. There's all sorts of these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
Oh, it's such a charmingly untidy collection of paraphernalia, isn't it?
Just looks messy to me, like my desk.
But you, Mr. Naruhodo, must learn to tidy up after yourself.
No favoritism there, then. Okay, there's this. Then the bullet holes up there. I'm curious, what does VR stand for? I hope we learn later. Maybe it's a character. Look at Mr. Sholmes' desk. It's completely clear. Isn't that enormous machine usually on it?
We can never hope to understand what goes on in the great detective's mind, Mr. Naruhodo. Why, next time we're invited, we may find he's vacated the entire suite.
That's scarily plausible, actually. You know what? I would believe that. I would believe that, like, one day you come down from the attic and everything's gone. Ah, yes, the letters V and R inscribed on the wall. In bullet holes. Isn't it the initials of the Queen or something?
It's so delightful to see it in the flesh. Having read about it in the stories, it was so inspiring. I fired 100 arrows into my own ball at home to make the character for Sue of Susato, you know.
Sue? Her? But perhaps there's some things the great detective does that you don't need to copy. Okay. I have no idea why he has the initials of the Queen shot into his wall. I think that's the most interesting decor choice I've seen anyone ever have. Alright, I want it to move into the attic and look at the stuff in there. So this is the tea set that Susato-san brought with her from Japan. Let's hope she hasn't noticed me slipping sugar and milk into my cup when she makes it. It's just so bitter.
Tea is a drink to be enjoyed, Tea is a drink to be enjoyed, Naruhodo-san. You really don't have to force yourself to drink it, you know. I don't like to see you screw up your face, so.
Can you also make, Can you make just about any tea with this setup? Because I've mostly seen people use these whisks for, like, green tea or, like, matcha. I haven't really seen people use it for any other kind of tea. That spade has been in here since we started renting the place.
Oh, that's not a spade, Naruhodo-san. It's a shovel.
What's the difference? No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel.
I don't want to dig a hole for myself, so let's leave it. I actually don't know what the difference is between a shovel and a spade. Or I guess a spade is like a smaller shovel, is it not? It's spring at last and the weather is warmer now. But I love the smell of the fire and the steam rising from the kettle.
Well, would you like some tea, Naruhodo-san?
Thank you, Susato-san, but I'm alright for now. With the green tea Susato-san makes me from time to time, and Iris's unique herbal infusions, this place is paradise for a true tea lover.
Green tea is such a wonderful accompaniment to British tea cakes, don't you think?
Okay, so it is green tea she makes. Okay, this is basically my desk. I've only been here in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already.
You could tidy up once in a while.
Susato-san, I always say, making a mess is a small sacrifice to pay for being able to further your studies. And time spent tidying up is time you can't devote to the same cause.
And time spent on ridiculous arguments is time that could be better spent on some simple housework.
She's got me there. She wins, but I'm supposed to be the lawyer here. Shovel is to shovel, a spade is to dig holes. Shovel has curved edges, spade is flat. You confused yourself? It's okay, we're all confused here. Okay, what is this thing? It's so horrendous. Ah, the Daruma doll I brought with me from home. Ah! Still with only one eye colored in. I said I'd color the other eye once I won my first court case here in Britain, but
you have one, haven't you? Twice, in fact.
Because I feel as though I'm still lacking as a lawyer. I tell you what, why don't you color the other eye in once you think I'm a proper full-fledged lawyer?
If you insist.
Okay, what is this? A Daruma doll? There has to be a significance behind that, right? Because otherwise it's just a very ugly doll. I need to Google. It's a hollow round Japanese traditional doll modeled after, okay. These dolls, okay. What is their meaning though? Oh, before putting them on a display, the owner must make a wish that they hope will come true before coloring in one eye. And then once the wish has come true, the other eye is colored in. Oh, okay. Okay. They still look very creepy though. I'm not gonna lie, they look hideous. Okay, let's see. Susato's table, which is very neat. Oh, what's this? Ah, this must be the telegram. Let's see.
Ah! No! You mustn't look at that. Not under any circumstances.
Alright. I won't.
I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san, but you can be very mischievous at times.
Put the telegram away if you don't want people looking at it. Then you burn it? Yeah. Okay. Oh, did he? I don't remember. Okay. So once your wish is fulfilled, you burn it. That sounds like fun. Okay, this door. You know, I've never seen inside your room there, Susato-san. Oh, that's her room. I'm going to guess that there's another door on this side that goes into his room. Ryunosuke's room. No, Naruhodo, right? I can't remember. I've never even peeped inside.
I should think so too. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know.
Whatever you say, young maiden. Okay, I want to know about the fish. We were rather lucky to find that old aquarium left behind here. The prawns we put in there are doing rather well, and the oh my god, and the anemones too. I almost couldn't say that. I almost said anemons.
It's a wonderful invention, isn't it? The sea behind glass inside your room. Another example of Great Britain's greatness.
Having to clean it out and change the water isn't so great though, is it? I can confirm in fact that it is not great. Which reminds me, I need to clean mine soon. Okay, I think we've looked at everything here. We're gonna look around the pawn shop and then I think most likely call it a day. I don't know what we're looking for exactly though. I think we've talked to him as much as we can. Yeah. Okay, well, what is there to look at? I guess to go into the storage room.
Oh, what's this? Look at this! What could this lovely big shiny box be?
That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country.
Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before.
Shall we listen a while? Okay, but why is this actually a banger? Yeah, okay, I'm vibing to this.
Oh, what a sublime sound.
I love music boxes. It's like one of my favorite instrument sounds. Like there's just something about like music boxes and the way they sound so twinkly. It tickles something in my brain, you know? Like it does something.
It's like the music of angels.
I've never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen is of the larger variety, commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the notes to be played are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played.
My goodness, what a simply delightful machine.
Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently with the development of the gramophone, of course.
Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace.
Yeah. If you look at like some of the statistics for technology, it's insane. Like I don't remember the exact number anymore, but like I recently heard about like the changes over the years of like, for example, how many devices are like connected online like to the internet, and like just like the jump between the years, like you see like some steady like growth, right? And then like I think around 2010 it starts like spiking really high, like every interval. It's like it's insane. Okay, what else is there? What is this thing? Oh, I'm looking at the counter.
Look at that enormous ledger open on the counter there.
Mr. Winterbank is, if nothing else, very particular about recording the items he accepts. He'd have to be, otherwise he'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more than the ledger.
Well, what catches my eye is this really I can't English, this really cute picture of a puppy.
Or is it the gun? Yeah. This revolver here. With a single bullet. Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering an article herein, my dear fellow. I assure you, Mr. Winterbank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with a speed belying his portly size.
Oh, you don't mean he'd...
Blow his brains out, indeed, and recompense for his blunder.
Oh my. But in any case, of course we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it?
Can I look at the pupper? I'm assuming this is for the door, though. These shelves.
What an assortment of things there are in these shelves here. Crockery, footwear, clocks and watches. Almost anything you care to imagine.
Those are forfeited items, of course, offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though?
When you pawn or colloquially pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale at a price of his choosing.
Oh, yes, now you've mentioned it, I'm noticing little price tags on everything.
Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period of safekeeping. So you may pawn that black garb of yours without fear, my dear fellow.
My treasured university uniform? Never. It embodies my student spirit. Okay, what is there to look at? Hats, clothes. I guess that's the date. Ooh, what is this machine? Okay, dolls. I have no idea what that is down there. Look at this. Whatever could it be used for? It looks like some kind of like portable camera. Like you can like compact it. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like a squished up camera.
I have no idea.
Ah. And there's a small catch just here. Look.
We're going to open it, aren't we? Oh no, it's a chest.
Oh my, that's amazing. It has some sort of spring-loaded mechanism.
Which we'll never manage to put back to the way it was before.
What are you two doing?
What? Us? Nothing. No, nothing at all. Whatever this device is, it seems to have a pair of little windows to look through. Oh, or maybe you view photographs through it. Feels as though I've seen something rather similar to this elsewhere. I think what it is like you put like a photograph in and maybe you like look through the holes and it like zooms in on it a little, like it makes it look bigger. That's the only thing I can think of. That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? 15th of April, today's date. Only, I would say only like a week before my birthday. Yes, that's not for sale, I must point out. It is an Eastern-style page-a-day calendar. Oh, is that really Eastern? I have this at home. That's what my family uses. It's like, yeah, every day, tear down a page for the next day. Not very convenient if you, like, want to, like, put plans and appointments on a calendar, but it is good for knowing what the day is. So long as you remember to, rip it every day. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date.
The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Winterbank.
And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before?
Well, when the agreed storage period has passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see. So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's something of a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say.
Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job.
Right, what is this strange device here?
Now what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does?
It seems to have two little windows for looking through.
Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you are looking at is a stereoscope.
A stereoscope? Fascinating.
It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself.
Oh, I should be delighted to. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look.
And just before you do, there is something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, oh my god, I can't say that, stereoscopically, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of little consequence today.
Alright then, I'm going to try it. Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, you must see!
Oh, alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed, like I'm looking at my own nose. What the? I don't believe it. It's just a photographic print, but it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Oh, I should have gone cross-eyed, huh? I didn't. I thought the game would do it for me. But then I forgot I can go cross-eyed myself. I'm assuming what it does is it makes it look kind of 3D.
Yes, the sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many fads. They are often found in little stalls in the park. People queue for hours to see them.
Why? Why are people meddling with such black magic?
It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at present. We shall save this lesson for another day.
Oh.
What? Only tuppence for it? That ain't fair, you know it. The article's barely worth a...
Oh, the article's barely worth a penny, miss. I cannot offer more.
Sounds like there's an argument brewing over by the counter.
Come on, that can't be right. Have you
Oh, do you think this is Gina?
Come on, that can't be right. Have you even had a proper butcher's at it?
I've seen all I need to see, young girl.
Yeah, that's Gina. Wait, don't we know? I'm sure I recognize her.
Oh yes, it's the young lady from Mr. McGilded's trial 2 months ago.
Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among larger crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket.
Gordon Bennett, you lot! Hello, Miss Lestrade. I hope you've been well. What? You remember me then, do you?
Well, I remember being completely surrounded by smoke, that's for sure.
So, what are you doing in here? Down and out, like the rest of us. Nothing to eat. Come to pop that black weasel sorry coat, have you?
What is this about? What is it about this black uniform that makes everyone comment on it?
Ah, good day, unless I'm much mistaken. You would be the young pickpocket who stole our experimental smoke grenade launcher.
Ah, Mr. Sholmes.
So, you have something of value to pawn, do you? Allow me to see the article, and I shall negotiate with Mr. Winterbank on your behalf.
Oh, the other one? I don't need no help from some stuck-up D. Get out of my business. Go on, or I'll make trouble for ya.
As you wish, Miss Lestrade. I will happily remove myself from your presence.
He's really done it. He's gone.
I'm sorry, but as I said, there really is no more room for negotiation here.
What is that thing he has in his hand? Some kind of metal disc? Oh, is that for a music box?
And you, go on. Leave me alone. Oh, Miss Lestrade, just pretend we aren't here. We shan't be offended in the slightest.
Susato-san can really stand her ground when she wants.
Whatever.
Somehow, I didn't really think you were the sort of person who'd use a pawnbroker, Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, well, I am. Alright, I'm a Londoner, just like everyone else. That a problem, is it?
No, not at all. It's just that, well...
Oh, I get it. I know what you're thinking. That thing probably don't even belong to her. Probably got it on the dive, didn't she? Yeah, I can see it written all over your Chevy Chase.
Well, I might have been thinking something along those lines.
You're not going to deny it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Alright then, I'm just going to come out and ask you straight. Do you pawn things that you steal from other people?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how best to answer that, really. Suppose. Sometimes.
You're not going to deny it either, Miss Lestrade?
But not this time, alright, I swear. That thing belongs to me.
The disc that Mr. Windibank is holding. Perhaps we should see what he has to say about all this. First, I want to see what's here. Hello, Gold. How are you doing? Look at Mr. Windibank watching diligently over his shop. There are still so many things I'm curious about.
I don't believe this is a time for browsing, Mr. Naruhodo.
Should probably see whether that argument's been resolved yet, I suppose.
Mr. Windibank, what exactly is this metal disc that Miss Lestrade has brought in? It seems to have hundreds of tiny little bumps on its surface.
This is a music disc, you see, for use inside a music box.
In a music box?
What, you don't even know what a music box is? Eastern lot ain't too savvy, eh?
I know what a music box is. I've just never seen one with these discs before.
The small protrusions on the metal disc encode the tune to be played by the music box. You simply insert the disc and set the machine going, and beautiful music plays.
It's so incredible! Tell us, what tune is on this disc?
Well, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. There are so many different types of music box, you see. British made, German, Swiss. I have no way of knowing which particular machine this disc was made for.
Ah, I see.
That's it in a nutshell. I wouldn't have any customers for an item like this, even if the young lady forfeited it. Really, I'm already offering more than I should at a penny.
That's a packet of lies. He told me he did. He said it was, well...
He? Who?
Never you mind. It just ain't right, that's all. That disc's worth good money, I know it is.
Well then, you'll have to try your luck at another pawnbroker's, won't you?
Ah!
She's been in before, of course, this little tattered Damalian.
I see.
I'd brought some dubious article or other with her every single time, I might add.
Dubious? What are you trying to say? I'm an honest customer, me.
So, is there something dubious about the disc she brought in today?
Well, if only it were that simple.
Sorry? What do you mean?
What she actually brought in was a storage ticket.
Ah, a storage ticket, so... Miss Lestrade has actually come to redeem an article from you today, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. A girl like me has a lot of stuff what needs storing.
Alright, yes, that's definitely dubious.
The article in question would have been forfeited at midnight tonight. But she gave me the ticket for it and repaid both the loan and the interest. I was obliged to return the article to her.
Well, what was the article? Do tell us, Mr. Windibank.
Little scamp is wearing it, ma'am. It's the overcoat that she redeemed.
Oh.
What? What's wrong with that? It fits, don't it? I mean, it's mine, so of course it does.
So what about the disc then? How does that come into all of this?
A disc is something else. A new article to pawn if the girl and I can agree a price.
I'm confused. I thought you said that Miss Lestrade brought in a storage ticket today.
It's really quite simple. Yes, the child brought me a storage ticket and the money owed on it, as you say.
But this heavy black coat, which you returned to her care, as I'd understood it.
That's right, yes, and rather unsurprisingly, as soon as that little ragamuffin put the thing on, she went rifling through the pockets.
Oh, you mean...
What? Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady? Oh, I see. So it came from the pocket of the overcoat, did it?
If you mean this disc, then yes, exactly, ma'am.
And she immediately tried to pawn it.
For quite a high price as well. This is all rather suspicious, I think.
Give it up. I'm just trying to pawn something like anyone else would.
Miss Lestrade, may I ask who deposited the overcoat here in the first place?
Well, me.
It doesn't really appear to be your size.
Me old man. It's me old man's, ain't it?
Is it, Miss Lestrade?
Yes, this is definitely all rather suspicious.
Out of my way, please.
Oh, who the hell is this man? Who's this picture postcard English gentleman?
Good day to you, ladies, gentlemen.
What's your problem, mate?
There is no problem, as long as you remove yourself. I have a matter to discuss with the proprietor. And if you intend to make a problem of it, I shall see you outside, little girl, for the hiding you deserve.
Look, ain't it obvious? I ain't done talking with him yet. If you think you're such a gent, you should know how to wait in line.
Well, you are an impudent little brat, aren't you? As well as a pickpocket.
Eh? Who are you? How do you know who I am?
Question is, how do you not know who I am? You haven't the courtesy even to remember the faces of your victims, it seems.
What? You mean from you?
Broker. Yes, sir. I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no? Yes, The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
Oh my. Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel, and needless to say, any music box discs too.
No, you can't have it. You just can't. It's me old man's, or it was. Now it's mine.
Goodness, Mr. Naruhodo. This is a very awkward situation.
Yes. I think perhaps we should hear both sides of the story in a little more detail. Okay, I think we're gonna call it here. Because, yeah, I'm hungry. It's supposed to be... Dinner was a while ago, so I'm gonna go eat. I can hear the dogs scratching outside. They want to be fed as well. So I'm going to save. Yeah, save here. Okay, let's see. Is anybody who is streaming right now? Well, you know what? There's Mookie. I haven't seen her in a while. Let's see how she's doing. So I'm gonna start the raid. So yes, this has been fun. I'm glad we got to finish the last case. This is gonna be the last one for this part of the game, and then there's like a second game for the Great Ace Attorney. I don't know if I like this streaming schedule. In any case, I'll probably keep Wednesday afternoon. But I don't know about The Witcher, so I'll probably play around with that one. Otherwise, I think my next stream is probably Sunday. So I think Sundays are gonna stay on Sundays. Wednesdays will probably stay on Wednesdays, but I don't know about The Witcher. That one will probably bounce around a bit for me to figure out where I like it best. That redeemed speech jams me so bad. Because I want to hear the rest of the purr. But yes, thank you everybody for coming by. I hope you have a good rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are, and I will see you next time. And I suppose I should lift myself out, because there is delays. And the raid is gonna start in like 10 seconds, so I don't even know if you'll see this, but yes, I'll see you there. Have a good day.